Today's a new type of video. We got a review video, and today I am reviewing the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller. Costs $269 plus tax, and yeah, so we're gonna do a review on it. And yeah, let's see. So first off, it comes in this lovely hard shell case. It's like a carry around case. That's what it looks like on like the back side and stuff, and we'll get to this compartment later in the video. But yeah, let's flip it open. So when you first buy your controller, obviously up here you will see you'll get your charging cord, which is right over here for me. It's pretty long, it's braided, and we'll get, this actually has a pretty neat feature. You think it's just a charging cord, but there's actually something cool you could do with it. Back over to here. So here's what you get. You know, you got your controller here. I've already used mine. I just want to review it for you guys. So you get the controller. As you can see, there's a release button there. You have RB, LB. Those are your back buttons. And believe it or not, so your trigger's usually all the way down on the standard PlayStation controller. You can adjust the height of your triggers to your desired preference. I've been playing NHL, so I've had them here. You can do it on both sides. You have your back buttons that you get, the release button. I'm not sure what that does. You get the headphone jack, obviously. You get your controller mic. You get these buttons right here that say FN on them. I don't know if it'll focus. Yeah, it will. FN. And those are your function buttons to create your custom profile, to map your back buttons here. You get, these are the stock, these two right here are the stock triggers that you get for right here. You can switch them out. I have the raised ones in right now. As you can see, those ones are a little bit taller than normal. We'll get to how to switch those out. But yeah, for the back buttons, let me just set you all up real quick. For the back buttons, it's pretty neat because you get two different sets of back buttons. You get two different sets of back buttons, which I will go through here in a minute. So you have your controller right here, and yeah, like I said, you get two different sets of back buttons, and on the actual button you will see that it says, like this one right here, I don't think this one says it, but you can kind of just like figure it out. Boom, there's one. There's one back button, and then you can go right over here. And they're kind of like magnetized. So boom, you got your back buttons here. And then to pull them out, I usually push mine forward like this and pull it out. Forward. Sometimes they get a little tricky. My favorite back buttons though are these guys, which on the actual thing, it'll tell you this one's LB. So you look for LB on here, you get it. Boom, kind of just magnets in there. Boom, magnetized in there. You know, when you're holding it, your fingers kind of just rest on them like this. Fingers are just rest on them, and it's actually convenient because you're playing your games and shit, your fingers are already there. So that's cool. These ones are a little bit trickier to get out, I find. And yes, these things are made out of metal. I'm not sure what type of metal, but you can hear as I drop them on each other, they are steel or something like that. I'd think they'd be steel. I think my favorite thing about this controller is just the case where you can put all your stuff. But yeah, so the next thing about this controller, these joysticks. So let's just move the lighting around a bit so y'all can see better. So for these joysticks, what you want to do is you kind of just grab your joystick, pull enough, and it pops right off, just like that. And then you get something that looks like this. And you have these joysticks down here to choose from. So I got the big ones on right now, but let's say you wanted to put like the stock ones on, right? Like a standard PlayStation controller thing. So you, as you can see from the side perspective, you kind of just find the groove, set it down, push, and you got your trigger on there. Same process to pull it off. Just pull it off, wiggle it around, poof, clicked in. We're good to go. So now we'll go through like the design of the actual device itself. And stay tuned because we were gonna get into this. When I first opened this, I was like, what the hell does this do? Locks. I thought it locked the case shut so no one could get into the case, but no, this thing has a much cooler feature. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's get on to the design of the actual controller itself. You get a nice design on your touchpad, a kind of like a glossy finish on that plastic part right there that you see with like the PlayStation button, the mic. So right here's kind of got like a plastic finish. Buttons look really cool. It's actually kind of like a different touchpad, if that makes sense. Like it's a different shape, and the actual like lighting is a different shape. You get on your triggers right here, you get like a grip, a little bit of a grip right here with the symbols coming out of the controller, and that's on both sides. Now you're probably looking and you're probably like, what do those two holes next to the charging port do? Well, that's where it gets interesting. So let me just set y'all up right here. So you have your charging cord, which is braided. It's, I'd say maybe 6-7 feet long in length. And you also get, so with the charging cord, you get the PlayStation logo on the USB Type-C part. But you can use this guy right here. So what you do is you want to go to this side and just click it up like this, and it opens up like so. And it's actually for your charging cord. So you want to usually go PlayStation simple side up, slide it in there, push it down, and click it in. So now you got this big device like this. You got this device, and so what you can do is you take your controller, like so, right? So you got your controller, and you can actually just plug this guy in just like that. And this button here, you have your unlock and your lock. So obviously on unlock, you can freely pull your cord out, but then once you get it in there, you can lock it, and then you can't pull it out. So that I kind of found was a cool feature. Another cool feature comes within the case. You can actually put your controller in the case. You can put your controller in the case, just like so. You know, make sure it's in there properly. And you can close the case. And we'll bring you around to this side where you see this is actually, if you look closely there, it's actually Velcro. So you can pull this down, and from here you can charge your controller. So you just do it. You can do it with this too. You can do it with this locking device, or without it, whatever you prefer. I prefer with the locking device. And you can charge your controller through the case. While it's in the case, it's protected. It's a hard shell case. And yeah, so I found that really neat when I first discovered it. But yeah, so there's what you get and how to use everything that they give you. I really like the idea of this case. I think it's very unique. I really like it. And now we're gonna go over and switch to the PlayStation side of things and how to set up your controllers and map your buttons. Alrighty guys, so we are here in the settings. So you're going to want to go to settings and scroll all the way down to accessories. And then you'll have a new tab that shows up. It'll say DualSense Edge wireless controller, okay? So basically you have like your function menu, which is like displayed content, different stuff like that. So you can have that turned off, and your function menu is going to be the fucking buttons right here. These guys right here that say FN on them. So I have mine on, and it has all my functions. You can have feedback when switching profiles. So there's a controller indicator, there's vibration. I have both on and have it to always show. That's just my settings. You can customize them to your liking. Obviously, like the lights of the controller itself, you can have on medium, dim. I keep mine on bright. But yeah. So the lights aren't on right now, but you do have this guy. He tells you your controller's on. And I think the only other time those lights turn on is when your controller's actually plugged in, which we will get to in a minute. So custom profiles. This is key. So obviously I have my custom profile as Logan's and then you always have your default spot for like your default PlayStation controller. Like if you just got one of these controllers, you know, it's standard PlayStation controller. It's got no extra buttons. If you got one of them, that's the default profile. But mine is Logan's profile. And so you have a whole bunch of different stuff. I always have the trigger effect intensity off. Vibration, I have it to strong. Trigger dead zones. This is big for people who play a lot of shooting games. So, for example, this is that. So, you know, we can switch the size on the back of like how big we want our things to be. So all the way down, this is how quick you're going to reach your max. And then, so like, let's compare standard to the lowest you can go, which is left. Standard's right, lowest is left. See how much faster that is? And we're clicking at the same time. That hits just so much more faster, I feel personally. And then obviously apply same setting for L2 and R2, which would be your bumpers. Stick sensitivity and dead zone, okay? This is another big thing. This is another big thing, so it's very important. Obviously, you got your joysticks, and how you move affects everything you do in a game. So you have the sensitivity curve right here. I have mine on default right now. But you can have quick, which is the amount of registered input accelerates as you tilt the stick. Good for making quick movements, gain the upper hand by quickly aiming in fast-paced shooting games. Precision. Minimum input is registered when you tilt the stick. Good for making precise movements. Fans of shooting games may find the ability to aim slowly and accurately helpful. If any of you are people who prefer to like play like Rainbow Six Siege when you're like pixel peeking corners and stuff, and you need to precisely aim. Precise is a good one to use. I've used it. It works amazing. Steady. Registered input is limited even if you tilt the stick far. Enables smooth and stable movement, ideal for when you need to move smoothly in action games. Tilting the stick even slightly will register nearly maximum input. Functions like the directional buttons on the controller get instant input reaction for your fighting and action games. That's the digital one. Dynamic. Registered input is limited when you tilt the stick slightly or far, but accelerated in the middle range. Enables versatile gameplay in shooting games where you may need to aim carefully but also turn quickly. So that's on for your left stick and your right stick. They're all the same, right? And then you can like adjust your curve and stuff, which is that chart. You can see it moving. And you can adjust your dead zone and whatnot, which you will see in the stick chart down here. How that circle just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's your dead zone, right? So I just keep mine personally on default for now until I switch to a shooting game. And when I'm playing Siege, I always go down to the precise one for both sticks. That's what's worked for me. And then the big thing, probably the reason you bought the controller, for the back buttons. Right now, I have my back buttons mapped to L3 and R3. So if you guys are like a fan of Rainbow Six Siege, your back button on the left side will be for your drone boost, and your R3 would be for breaking a barricade, right? Melee, that type of stuff. And then also for your left tilt and right tilt. That's what mine are just set to, but you can map any button. Like, I could have that fucking right arrow mapped to triangle. So you can remap whatever you want. You can switch the left and right sticks. You can disable a button on your controller. Yeah. So it's pretty neat. You can disable your PlayStation button, your touchpad button. You can disable that. But yeah, so for your mappable buttons, these are your two back buttons right here. You just click on it and you can choose any button, or you can choose to have it disabled. Any button you desire, it'll be right there and you'll be able to select it. And then, yeah. So now that we've all gone through that, let's go out, click on a game. I just lost this most recent game of NHL 26. New content coming soon on NHL 26. Sometime later this evening. Yeah, it was a close game, 2-1. So, let's say you're in a game, right? You're in a game. If you click and hold the function button, this menu will pop up. And if you click X, that goes to my profile. If you were to click triangle, that'd go to the default profile. And if you were to click your options button, that's what the 3-line button is. If you were to click this button, it brings you to where you can go to your customizable profile and you can customize things in game. And then, what is it? You can also, if you have headphones plugged in, which I do not right now, but if you have headphones plugged in, you can adjust your game volume and your game chat and audio balance. Okay? So that's where you could do that. And lastly, you can go here, and then you can re-click the function button. And there's something where you can hit, like, return to game. Like, let's go to custom button assignments. You can resume your game by pressing that function button, which is just below your left and right joystick, and then pressing the options button. It'll resume you right back to your game. So yeah, that's everything regarding this controller. You know, I think it was a good purchase. I paid around $350 for it. $300. But yeah, I think it was a good purchase. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. We're going to have a video on NHL 26 coming out soon. We're going to have a sleep stream tonight, so stay tuned. And yeah, love you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe and share with some friends. Have a great night, y'all. See you soon.